Hi, welcome to Talking Tech. I'm your host, Marcus Yam, and a new generation of Intel processor is upon us. That's Intel Core Ultra, codenamed Meteor Lake, and it's going to be in some of the best laptops of 2024. And with it comes a new generation of Intel Evo. To tell me more about that is David Feng, VP and GM of the client segment in Intel's PC business. David, thanks for joining Talking Tech.
Thank you, Marcus.
So quickly, we know your title, but what is your role and responsibility at Intel?
Yeah, very quickly, I manage the client segment marketing team for Intel. We separate teams between consumer, commercial, workstation. We manage the two platform brands, Evo and vPro. I guess that's why I'm here, to talk about Evo.
So David, now that we know your role at Intel, what's the role of Intel Evo, especially given that you have purview over so many different parts of the client segment?
Yeah, happy to talk about it. So if I use an analogy, I have two boys growing up, they play a lot of Legos, and I sell computers for a living. So what's the difference? I say, when they build Lego sets, it's very standardized. It's very easy to predict the output. When we're building computers with our customers, it's a lot harder. Why? Because there are many top knobs to turn and tune to optimize for the best performance, audio, acoustics, temperature, etc., etc. So that's the reason why for end user to choose the best experience when they're shopping for a computer, it's not very easy because they can read the fact tag, then they want to infer the kind of experiences they can get from the fact tag, but a lot of the knobs and tunings and even commodities can impact their experiences aren't necessarily shown on the fact tag. That's why we created Evo as the umbrella innovation program based on research, focused on user experience. And we want to drive co-engineering with our direct customers. We want to use Evo to set clear, high-quality industry expectations for open PC ecosystem partners. And Evo is also our multi-point verification program to ensure that every single Evo laptop, after verification, will deliver the consistently high end user experiences out of the box.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned Legos too, because people, I like to build PCs and there's an infinite number of configurations, but with a laptop, you're really looking at one configuration, and Evo seems to be looking at the optimal, tested, verified configuration there. Of course, we're here to talk about what's new, and of course, I keep thinking about Intel Core Ultra, all the new technology advancements and innovation that it brings. So what's new with Evo coming in with Meteor Lake?
Absolutely. Super excited about the Meteor Lake and Core Ultra introduction. So you guys know how good the product is. What we do with this generation of Evo is push the envelope even further, harness all the goodness from Core Ultra, and enhance on 5 different areas. 1, uncompromised mobile experiences. 2nd, enhanced collaboration. 3rd, we introduced multi-device experiences before. We want to expand that capability to more devices. 4th one, we want to expand the engineered for Evo ecosystem to bring more adjacencies and peripherals to work with Evo devices. The last one, really hot, about sustainability. We're making a lot of progress with the partners.
Okay, so that's 5 things. So quickly, can you touch on those in a little bit more detail again? So let's start with the no compromise, uncompromised mobile experience.
What does that even mean, right? So we say, hey, users want everything. They want higher performance. They want long battery life. They don't want the thing to sound like a jet engine. They don't want the thing to burn the hand. So they want it all. But that's a tough engineering problem to solve, and that's why, first, Ultra brings a lot to the table, but on top of that, we use Evo as an engineering vehicle to really optimize between these conflicting priorities. So we know how to drive performance, we know how to drive cool and quiet, how to drive all these different vectors together is the engineering magic. And I'm happy to report we're making significant progress. All the early enabling Meteor Lake Gen Evo designs are below 19 dB. Put into perspective, 19 dB is a super quiet room. It's lower than people whispering to each other. Some designs are even 17 dB. So that's at the edge of what equipment can measure in terms of the noise level. Skin temperature is super important. People don't want to feel like, hey, my my hands are getting burned, my laps are getting burned when I'm using my machines. So we're measuring all of their enabling designs to be able to hit 41 degrees C. So people can touch it, feel barely any warm. Half of the designs are hitting lower than 37 degrees C. And we all know body temperature is 37 degrees. So 37 degrees C doesn't burn our body. So we feel really natural using a machine. So all without compromising the responsiveness or performance. So that's what we call uncompromised mobile experiences.
I think some of those points are pretty interesting for me, especially because, I know the one of the points you mentioned is collaboration, but fan noise. If you're on a virtual meeting and your fan is going loud, or you're just using your laptop on the go somewhere and it's just hot in your lap, it's unpleasant. So I guess, does any of that tie into the enhanced collaboration features, or is that something else?
Yeah, so of course, collaboration is a very integral part of our life. May it be work, study, social with our friends, family from remote. So we continue to push envelope on collaboration, even though this is sort of a given feature, but we focus on a few things. First, significant power reduction. Just 3 generations ago, our processor running a collaboration application will run about 12 watts for the processor in of itself, with power efficiency of a Meteor Lake and the optimization of the models on Meteor Lake, we can run as low as 3 watts. Just think about that reduction.
That's a quarter.
In 3 generations.
Yeah, 1/4 of the power.
And that extends your battery life for collaboration on the go for hours. So second, web camera continue to be very important. We worked on a very important BCS metric, used to be for phones, smartphones only. Now it's for PCs as well, to enhance the bar of your webcam quality. There's Wi-Fi 6E that brings 3 times of the Wi-Fi throughput as compared to Intel Wi-Fi 5. And then there's Intel Connectivity Performance Suite that can reduce the video conferencing latency by 66%. So all of this will improve the quality of your collaboration. Last but not least, we're working very hard with Microsoft to bring Windows Studio effects to all Meteor Lake devices, including Evo, which will enhance collaboration experiences for all collaboration tools running on Windows 11. And the most important thing, running at a very low power.
Yeah, power, of course. I love that. I love the specs. But as someone who really loves specs, I like the adoption of the VCX camera measurement tool, because, I think these days when you see specs, is a 1080p camera truly better than regular, 720
Exactly.
HD? It's hard to say, right? But now there's a quantifiable number and more than just the megapixels. Now, of course, next on the list is the multi-device experience. And last year, I got a demo of Intel Unison, and showing the multi-device part being a phone, whether it's an iPhone or an Android, connecting with a PC seamlessly to send and receive texts, transfer files, make and receive phone calls. That was really cool. But I know you've brought something new to show us here now. So let's take a look.
Yeah, let me show you. Super excited. So as you can see, we have the phones here. You're familiar with those. And we have an iPad here. So what are we doing? Let me show you what Unison new features can do. So first feature, extended display. What does it mean? We're all spoiled by home offices with multiple displays. When we're traveling, we lose that. And in this case, I just built that connection.
I recognize that.
Exactly. I want to continue to watch your video without loading up the video on the iPad. I just drag the window from a Windows PC to iPad as the extended display, and while I watch, I can continue to take notes.
Okay.
Pretty neat.
Okay.
But that's not it. That's one of the user models, and there's another cool feature I want to show you as well that's similar but different. That's called universal control. In this case, I'm still connected to the iPad, and I'm extending the control of my keyboard and mouse on my PC to access resource on the iPad. So let's just say I was in the middle of writing a note on my iPad. Without switching all the way to typing on my iPad, I can continue typing using my keyboard on the PC.
Oh, I see. So Yeah, so you just have the keyboard control and the mouse on the iPad, and you're able to just move that cursor back over. You can use both the PC and the iPad with your keyboard and mouse at the same time.
One setup, no switching context. I can continue to access resources on both sides. We have a third one to show you.
Okay.
Well, I notice you have a phone, and we'll have situations where, hey, I have a file I want to send to you. What's your email address? How do I send you?
Okay,
without building that connection.
That takes a long time sometimes, yeah.
It's a cumbersome, but with the Unison, with this new feature, what I can do is I can create a link so that when you open up your phone, you can scan the QR code, it'll generate download the link, press a button, the file is downloaded locally to your phone.
And I don't have the Unison app, so I can just...
No need for any Unison application pre-installed on your phone.
No
launch. Pre-build connection either.
Got a link?
Yep.
Oh, hey, you've received files. This link can only be used once. No account install is required. Click continue. I have an 8-letter code here.
Yep. We verify on my side, on your side, and you're ready to go.
That's ready for download. Okay. There we go. There's a PDF right here.
There you have it.
Yeah. That's Unison right here.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. These are great new features. Now, are these exclusive just to the Meteor Lake Intel Core Ultra laptops, or will these be available on other existing Evo machines running Unison?
As always, we want to introduce the new latest experiences through Intel Evo platform. So first, these new features will land on Meteor Lake generation Evo platforms. We'll make them available for previous gen Evo platforms as well.
Great. That's a great new update. Okay, so let's go back to the list that you described for Intel Evo. You mentioned ecosystem. So say a little bit more about that.
Yeah, ecosystem is a broad term. So we mean two things in this context. One is Evo really is the one to set the direction for ecosystem partners across driving low power, high quality OLED display, for example, driving higher quality audio video we just talked about, driving more advanced sensing technologies across the ecosystems. And we work with big companies like Samsung, Altec, Realtek, and you name it, right, to drive the future direction. The second is, since a couple years ago, we've been on this journey of building out a engineered for Evo peripheral portfolio. Now, happy to report, since last year, we added 6 new brands, 21 new devices. Now we have a collection of 57 total devices. The whole idea is when people have a seamless, great user experience on their Evo PCs, that experience will be extended onto their engineered for Evo peripherals as well.
Okay, that's interesting, but I want to touch on again that the first half of that, which is the ecosystem for the components. Because when someone buys a laptop, that's their closed system. That's what it is. Like, unlike with the other peripherals in the ecosystem, is that people can shop for a different headset or different Thunderbolt dock. Here, it is Intel going and making efforts beyond the silicon, beyond Intel Core Ultra, to have, like you mentioned, I think displays are super important because people look at that 100% of the time. To have the low power OLED. So I think that's probably maybe an underappreciated fact of how Intel is pushing to have better products. It's just beyond the chips.
Yeah, great point. And if you think about the benefit of open ecosystem is we can select and choose anything that's available out there. But at the same time, that could send a very noisy signals to the component suppliers, say, hey, I want to build this, I want to build that. So what we're trying to do is show a unified vision where we think the uncompromised mobile devices future experience will be. And we want to work with companies like display vendors and sensor vendors to make that reality in the near future. So that's a really important part of our ecosystem enabling effort.
And with better PCs, people will like to be happier with them longer. But inevitably, when it's time to replace your laptop, people usually retire them and have to buy a whole new one. So I think it's very important that we think about these things in a sustainable manner. So what is Intel and Intel Evo's approach to sustainability?
Yeah, really, really important. We just met with a bunch of customers, and many of them are highlighting the need of bringing more sustainable technologies and finished goods to the end user's hand. So first, to start from Intel, we're so proud to bring to life many of the green technologies across everything we do. And we're going to hit net positive water usage. by 2030 as well underway. So put that all aside, that's just to say, hey, we're going to make the most environmentally friendly silicon out there in the market. But we also wouldn't stop there. We want to work with ecosystem partners and customers to bring sustainable technologies through their products. In this context is the personal computers. So in Meteor Lake Generation Evo, we're happy to see about 65% of the Evo designs will meet EPEAT Gold certification. 100% of the designs will meet EPEAT Silver certification or TCO certification. So we are very happy to see the progress, and we're happy to say that Intel Evo program in the past couple of generations have been that driving force across the industry toward more sustainable designs.
Wow. Okay. So that's actually really great to hear, and that's top to bottom of the list that you gave in the front for Evo. Is there anything else people should know about this new generation coming up?
Of course. So back in my intro, I was talking about two platform brands. Evo is the one we talked the most about today. The other one is vPro. So we continue to push forward across 4 different pillars of vPro: performance, stability, manageability, and security. And we just talked about sustainability in the context of Evo. We are pushing toward that direction for vPro as a platform as well. So more to come on vPro in the next quarter.
Great. Well, I'm so excited to see these new devices coming out, whether it's Evo, vPro, anything on Intel Core Ultra. David, thanks for your time. Thank you for talking tech.
Thank you.